You are listening to Radio Koraput. Today we have an opportunity of talking to a girl from Koraput who has reached Delhi and now a famous orator in a discussion at the international forum discussing vital issues. So she has been accepted by a greater audience. So today we'll be listening to a wonderful topic that she has presented before international audience. She is none other than Tanvi Behera. She is uh, a daughter of Koraput. We are proud of her and we welcome her for the conversation with Radio Koraput. Good wishes from Radio Koraput and congratulations on behalf of all the listeners of Radio Koraput for your excellent performance and presentation on a vital topic. So, we would like to request you to share the details of the international discussion or international seminar that you have presented and what was the topic and why did you select that topic? Welcome to it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, sir. And for the introduction too. Thank you so much. Recently I presented my paper at the International Conference on Philosophical Counseling that was sponsored by the ICPR, that is Indian Council of Philosophical Research, New Delhi, and it was organized by the Department of Philosophy and Department of Education, University of Delhi. So my paper got accepted uh, during November, and I presented it just yesterday. So the topic of the conference was like the theme of the conference was philosophical counseling. So it was the very first conference that actually took place in India because philosophical counseling as a domain also it started in the recent decades and of course conferences and events that keep on happening. But in India, it was for the very first time that we witnessed such a event. It was a huge event because there were participants from 31 countries. That is what I got to know. And it was really an insightful experience because there were speakers from all around the world. And I feel happy that my paper got selected and I got an opportunity to present my opinion and view there. So the topic of my paper was philosophical counseling or Buddhist model of counseling. Like I said, philosophical counseling is now a new domain in the field of counseling because we have psychological counseling and all other sort of counseling, but philosophical counseling is not so much known to people now. And the main motive behind this conference was to make people aware of it, to make the masses more aware of it, that we have such a sort of a counseling, and that whenever you face some sort of problems in your life, then definitely you can even consider approaching a philosophical counselor. So the main objective of my paper was to present a Buddhist approach that would help a philosophical counselor um, deal with the client. So the main problem that I addressed in my paper is that a lot of us have now mental issues, and it has just come into more notice when we have seen a stern rise in the number of suicide cases and all that. So, what is the Buddhist approach regarding this? Why is it that we have such a sort of mental state, and why is that we have negative emotion? What are the causes behind it? So, I try to give it a Buddhist approach. So, Buddhist, I actually brought in Buddhist philosophy here to really know the cause behind the negative emotions and how we can tackle those negative emotions through a Buddhist perspective. So that was the whole idea behind this paper. Yes. Over to you, sir.
So, how did you differentiate between the philosophical counseling and normal counseling, and psychological counseling and physical counseling?
Okay. So with psychological counseling, what happens is that we only approach a psychological counselor when we have symptoms like we are going through depression or anxiety, or we have that sort of mental problems. But a philosophical counselor can be approached anytime. whenever you have any sort of dilemma in your life or any problem that is disturbing you, and you just want to talk to somebody and feel good about it, or you want some clarity, so you can definitely approach a philosophical counselor in that aspect. So philosophical counselor deals with the problem when there is dilemma in your life, and the questions are related to life, morality, and so and so.
So, philosophical counselors, we can refer to our saints and our great researchers and scholars, those who have
Hmm.
made this Indian land proud of thousands of years of cultivation of this particular research that you are basing on, that the philosophy of India and philosophy of
Hmm.
Buddhism. So,
Hmm.
what are the qualities that you wish to have in a philosophical counselor?
Philosophical counselor needs to be open and unbiased. So whenever you are talking to a client, you have to keep your mind very open-ended. You cannot judge a client. You have to give the client the space to actually talk to you about anything that the client wants to. So that.
While you presented the paper basing on the
Yes.
Indian philosophy or Buddhist philosophy to the international
Mm-hmm.
world, international
Mm-hmm.
audience, so how
Mm-hmm.
did they accept it? Because the European thought and the other thoughts are different, and the philosophies
Mm-hmm.
are different. So how did they
Yes.
accept it?
Yes. So the main agenda behind this conference was actually to bring in thoughts from everywhere. So, like we representing India, I thought I will definitely talk about Buddhist philosophy, because Buddhist philosophy is something that I relate to and I find it more practical. So I thought I'll present
So
on that
did you
only.
get any
And
response from anywhere while you are presenting the paper?
yes, actually, when I was presenting the paper, it was in a parallel presentation that I was presenting, because there were a lot of participants. So they divided to various groups. So my session was chaired by one of the professor from Mumbai University, and there were some participants from Jamaica in my session. So actually, we were allotted quite a limited amount of time. So we presented our paper, and there was only 10 to 15 minutes for discussion. So I received some questions from the participants. So it was good. That is what they said, that it was a good presentation. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they could
So
really relate to the problems that I have discussed.
yeah, yeah. So all the
Mm.
philosophies, they have the impact of the place of origin. So you are
Yes.
originally from Koraput. So how
Mhm.
do you think that Koraput has played some vital role in your thought process? The mountains of Koraput, the rivers of Koraput, the nature of Koraput, the ambience of Koraput, the love of Koraput. Did you feel that this had any impact on your the way of thinking?
Yes, definitely, because where you come from, the values that the way you have been brought up, it plays very important role in shaping the person you are, in really helping the person you are. And I always believe in that, and I always believe what my father always says, that never forget your roots. So that has always been there with me, and I'm proud that uh, I come from such a beautiful place, and it will always be there with me. Yes.
Thank you, and congratulations to you again, and congratulations to
Mhm.
you
Thank
that
you
you
so
have
much.
remembered your father's those golden words that don't forget the
Yes.
root, and you have not
Yes.
forgotten. Again, you are connected through this telephonic conversation with from Delhi to Koraput. So we are grateful to
Mhm.
you that you have been
Much.
doing great job, and we hope
Thank you.
that you will be able to counsel the counselors who will be the torch bearers for the problem seekers. The day by day they are increasing. So we hope
Yes, but
for a better society with the contribution of girls from
but
Koraput
I have
like you. Yeah,
okay, but I have something to say.
yeah,
Well, I really believe that this also inspires a lot of youngsters out there
yeah,
to come forward and to learn more about philosophy, because I believe that philosophy is a way of life. And when
yeah,
you
yeah.
inculcate the habit of reading more philosophy books, the way you think, the way you perceive things, I think that changes a little bit. So I would really want more people to engage in philosophy and try and learn more books.
So congratulations for having that kind of philosophy that everybody should be having a keen desire to acquire some philosophy. So you are there in a philosophical land that is called India and Bharatvarsh. So congratulations again, and we wish that you grow to a greater height so that the international audience will seek more and more advice and more words from you. Thank you for being a child of Koraput. We are proud of you. Thank you again.
Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thanks to all the
Thank you
listeners of
for
Radio Koraput for giving a patient listening to our conversation with Tanvi Behera from Delhi, who has made the great heights today with the presentation on philosophy of India. Thank you again. Congratulations.
thank you so much, sir. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.